this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, you might recognize the gentleman on the screen as the illustrious Dr. Cornel West. He is presently running for President of the United States as an independent. And here are 5 of the individuals that are running as independents: Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Cornel West, Peter Sunsky, Michael Wood, and Claudia de la Cruz. They have little to no chance of becoming President of the United States. Dr. Cornel West is a college professor. He has worked pretty much at Ivy League colleges teaching African American studies. He's everybody's brother. He's everybody's friend. He's an advocate for everybody's issues. Okay, so now he's running for president, and it appears that he's not getting the support from his multiracial coalition that he was expecting to get. Dr. West should be attracting a lot of attention from black people who are so now disgruntled with both the Democratic and the Republican parties. So black people should be excited about his campaign. Just like black people were excited when Jesse Jackson and Reverend Sharpton ran, to a point. But he's not getting the enthusiasm from black people that those 2 candidates got. Reverend Jackson always appealed to black people until black people just sort of, until he just ran out, I think. I think he kind of ran out with a lot of black people. And so did Reverend Sharpton. But before they ran out or were bought off, they had a lot of support from black people. They cut their teeth on issues specific to the black American community. But Dr. West is all over the place. As I said before, he's everybody's brother, he's everybody's friend, and he's a champion for everybody's issues. So black Americans have changed. Black people are saying, what are you doing specific for black Americans' support? Not what you're going to do for the Palestinians, not what you're going to do for the Native Americans, not what you're going to do for LGBTQ, not what you're going to do for women. What are you going to do for black Americans? And that's what black people are saying to both of the political parties. So here he is, a black man, calls himself running for president, and he wants to get all these issues and combine all this melting pot together with black people somewhere equal to everybody else. And I think black people are saying, no thank you, I'm not interested. I'm sure he has some black support, but apparently he doesn't have enough to really jumpstart his campaign, because I just saw this on X platform.
To my dear black brothers and sisters, the very community and tradition from which I come, Shiloh Baptist Church on the one hand, the Black Panther Party on the other, the legacy of Martin Luther King on the other, I want you to know that the vicious effects of the legacy of white supremacy is something that is crucial in this campaign. And yes, I talk about workers. Yes, I talk about Palestinians. Yes, I talk about rural folk who are on the vanilla side of town. But I come from the chocolate side of town. And I begin on the chocolate side of town and allow my concern about love and justice to flow over to every corner, every borough, indigenous peoples or whatever. But in the end, you should know that the black predicament is my starting point, and I will never, ever be silent in the face of police brutality, in the face of police murder, in the face of discrimination, in the face of degradation. And I'll do it in the style of an Ella Fitzgerald and Muhammad Ali, which is to keep swinging. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
So now he's appealing to black people to say that I'm from you. Your struggle is my struggle, and I'm a jazz man, and I'm an improvisational man, and all this kind of stuff. But all it means is that his campaign is struggling. When you're running third party in the United States in a political campaign, you're mostly running to get attention, or you're trying to force the major parties to include whatever your concerns are onto their platform. So you really are trying to influence public policy. And that's what he's trying to do. Well, I'm not sure what his issues are, because to me, he's all over the place. But clearly he's trying to get attention. If you are a black man trying to run for anything in the United States where the public has to support you and your own black people don't support you, it's pretty much a wash for you. Running for president is hard. Running for president without the backing of a major party is even harder. A reality Cornel West is only beginning to confront. The famed philosopher's independent presidential campaign has generated plenty of buzz, but it starts well behind in the Herculean task of getting on the ballot in order to truly compete against likely Democratic and Republican nominees Joe Biden and Donald Trump. That's one of the big unanswered questions hanging over the 2024 presidential race for West and all of the other candidates who might be running. Third-party candidates are generating interest in early polls, but not only is it unclear whether that will last, it's also unclear whether voters in different states will even have those candidates as options on their ballots in November 2024. So it's not just about running. You've got to get on the ballot in every state in order for people to be able to vote for you. Yes, you can write in a candidate, but the reality is your name needs to be on that ballot. We're still in the embryonic stage, West acknowledged in an interview with NBC News this week. The last thing I want to do is have huge rallies now and peak too soon. Well, I would rather get the huge rallies whenever I could get them. And I'd worry about peaking too soon when it happened. But first you need to peak. This part of the article talks about the stark math of running for president. It says, after cycling through 2 different minor parties and at least as many campaign managers in the earlier stages of his campaign, West is beginning a more public phase, which will include a trip to Michigan next week to tap into Muslim and Arab voters' displeasure with Biden over his steadfast support for Israel during its war against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Yes, and the Arabs have made it very clear that they are very upset with Biden about his support of Israel and that they're not going to vote for him. Now, is Cornel West a viable option for the Arabs? Do they think that Cornel West could be a real challenger against Biden? Probably not. I think he's married to an Iranian woman or maybe an Arab or Muslim woman at any rate. And so I guess he's going to go to Michigan where they have a large population of Muslims to see if he can get some money. And that's not a bad strategy. He's just started holding fundraisers and knows he'll need to start raising more money, a lot of it. West reported raising just $320,000 through the end of September. Well, that's not going to get you to the White House. By contrast, another independent presidential candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whom West calls a complicated brother, well, no more complicated than Cornel West is, Kennedy raised more than $15 million for his campaign, while an allied super PAC has millions more. Well, yeah, the Kennedys are well connected. They're millionaires or billionaires, and they have billionaire friends. And Cornel West has a lot of talk to his advantage, but you need money to run for president. And see, he hasn't really tapped into the black Americans' pocketbook. Black people can give $25, but he hasn't done that because he has a campaign that black people don't I don't believe that black people feel connected emotionally to Cornel West. And it is really important for black Americans to feel emotional support, to believe that that person will try to do something, because we're very well acquainted with people not doing anything, but at least you have the feeling that they will try to do something. I do not believe that black Americans are emotionally connected to Cornel West or his campaign. He has been outside the circle talking to people inside the circle, in my opinion. He's been talking at black people, but not really to black people. He starts talking, he won't talk to everybody. But you need a core group of people that support you when you're running for president, like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had a core group of people, of which Cornel West was one. And people felt emotional about Bernie Sanders because he picked one or two issues that he thought people were interested in. And he stayed on message. Cornel West, to me, is all over the place. And if you're black and you are a public figure and you can't get black people to feel emotional about what you're doing, you need to go back and rethink what you're doing. You need to go back and recalibrate your message and talk about what people's concerns are, and not go on and on and on about what you want to talk about. And this has got to be said. One of the things we see over and over again with our people, and I'm saying our people because they are our people, they don't belong to anybody else. But what we see is that once they get a little bit of education, have educational success in music or sports or something like that, they start thinking that they have transcended ordinary black people. Thus, they go out with these white spouses and they think that they have it made and they're not like the rest of us black people, and then they get the wake-up call. And this is a wake-up call for Cornel West, because I think he thought that he was going to be the Green Party nominee, only to discover that a white person wanted to run as the Green Party candidate, because the Green Party is on the ballot in 30 states. As an independent candidate, Cornel West's name will only appear on the ballot in Vermont. Now that cuts down considerably on any influence that he hoped to have during this primary and election season. So he came up against a white person who wanted his name on the ballot. So this was a wake-up call for him right here. And integration in America really ruined a lot of black people, because a lot of black people thought that because the laws changed, that people's hearts had changed. And they have not. So he's running around here calling everybody brother, brother this, brother that. And he does not have a real core group of people who are really excited about his campaign. Not even his own people. And to me, that speaks to a level of, I don't know if it's disassociation or whatever that he has. But he can't even get the support that Reverend Sharpton had. And that's really saying something. Cornel West has taught at Harvard, Princeton, Yale. I think he's been at Dartmouth. He's been to a lot of Ivy League schools. And he has not gained tenure. Harvard would not give him tenure. So he had a hissy fit last year before last, because they wouldn't give him tenure. You can't always talk your way into a situation. People look at the totality of who you are. You've been married 5 or 6 times. And then he's running around here calling himself a theologian, which most people call a preacher. And then you don't settle down on any particular message. People look at that. That's not, represent a solid character in the minds of many people. But we have a real issue in the black American community with people thinking that they have transcended blackness just because they have a little bit of success. And then something happens, which is what we call the wake-up call. Then they start doing what Cornel West just did, making a video about how black he is. See, he shouldn't have to do that. He shouldn't have to tell us that. We should already know that he is connected to the community. But you get so far out there, and then you think that you have a following, or you think you have a core group of supporters that you really don't have. And then you're trying to backtrack. That video that he made that I just played, if he were going to play that at all, he should have played that video at the very beginning of his campaign. Now, he may have, but this is the first time I've seen it. So I'm just saying, I think that the problem with him, as with a lot of black Americans, you get too far out there thinking that you have transcended your race and your people, only to find out that nobody thinks that way but you. And here you are trying to run for president, and black people are not even interested in your campaign. But okay, y'all, I could be wrong. Let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video. And as always, have a great day.